Welcome to Vetted Conversations, where we delve into the foundations, workings, and current challenges facing our American experiment. In today's confusing world, it's more important than ever to understand what keeps our nation strong and how we, as patriotic citizens, can actively participate.
Our mission is to ensure that you, the listener, gain the knowledge and insights alongside us, your veteran and military family member hosts, to become more informed and engaged citizens.
In a world of partisan noise, we lead with a bias of patriotism, cutting through the static with clarity, insight, and action. Join us as we learn together and help equip you with the tools to protect and preserve what matters most, our shared American ideals.
Hey everybody, this is Anil Nathan with Military 250 here on Radio Row in New Orleans. I have the pleasure of being joined by Mr. Clint Bruce and Captain Jervy Alota. Thank you very much for making the time to jam with us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So maybe to start, what brings you down in uniform to Radio Row today?
Yeah, I'm here looking quite fine and sexy in this uniform.
Yeah, as usual.
I am representing the Navy, and I'm here to tell the story. Again, with this being the 250th anniversary of our service, I want to be able to, shed a light of what we do and bring awareness to the unbelievable opportunities that the Navy provides.
That's fantastic. Yeah, great to get the word out, get more people aware of the. I'm an Air Force guy, so it's like bias.
Yeah, but that's kind of like serving. To be honest.
We're doing what they do now.
I'm joking.
This is what they do.
I'm joking. That looks hot, button. No.
So all right, so now. So you guys clearly know each other.
Yeah, this is my little brother.
Yeah, let's we got to hear the story. Tell us a little bit about.
Man, I remember watching. So I was a sophomore when he was a freshman, and I was, playing varsity, playing linebacker, and we would always hear this whack during special teams. So we were over here doing drills. We just whack during special teams, and finally, I remember Fernando Harris and I walked over like, who is making that noise? And there was this little Filipino kid named Jervy Alota. That because you got recruited to LeBron, right?
So my story is I was just a scrawny little kid in high school that wanted to go play at the next level, but I didn't have the size.
You were like 148 pounds.
I was 145 pounds when I first joined, but there was a kid, a blue chipper, who was, who looked the part, who acted the part. They wanted him bad. Navy wanted him bad, and he also knew, he was a good friend of mine, he knew I wanted to go there. So he said, I will go to Navy, but you got to bring this kid with me. Right. And Navy had kind of like unlimited scholarships. Like they just all sent us to this farmhouse called the Naval Academy Prep School.
Right.
I was able to go there. I gained 50 pounds, and I just, play with a lot of heart, a lot of will.
I heard Jervy before I saw him. And I remember Coach Ray and I were talking, we're like, and you got pulled up. You got pulled up as a plebe.
Well, so as a plebe, as a freshman,
which is very uncommon.
Their first game was against San Diego State. So it was always my goal, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I just want to go travel. I just want to be on the travel squad to be able to go home and play in front of my family. But I wasn't good enough, right? So they ended up going. They got smashed. It was like 49-0 at halftime.
Yeah, the coach pulled down the flag. He had this Jolly Roger, Richard Bell.
Oh, yeah.
He had a Jolly Roger in the locker room, and he walked in the locker room, he ripped it and goes, man, you'll be lucky if you ever see this flag again the rest of the season. It was rough.
But then the coaches came back and they blamed the scout team. They blamed the scout team for not giving them a look, but we never had an opportunity to go live. So as soon as he gave us the thumbs up and he said, because of you guys, we suck, now you guys get to go live. We, the guys that wore the red heads, I think we were called. I forgot what we were called, the Scully team or whatever. They gave us the green light, and that's all we wanted, just an opportunity. So the first play with the varsity, the first team offense, they ran a toss sweep, Monty Williams, and we were all live. I ran my alley, and I closed my eyes and just leaped into him, smashed him, put him on his back. I don't remember what happened, but next thing you know, like, they're lifting me up and like clapping, and then the coach stopped him. And the coach was like, Coach Chomp was like, that's crazy. That is, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. You're going to let Monty Williams, #1 running back, you're going to let this guy do that to you? Everyone line it back up. Everyone's dead except for you and for you. And he like pointed at me. I was like, what did I do? What the hell's going on here? So next thing you know.
We're over there watching, like starting defense. We're over there watching. We're like, oh, we like this. We like this.
We lined up again, and I did the same thing. And again, I blanked out. And next thing you know, I'm getting lifted up, and like everyone's cheering me on. Coach Chomp stopped practice, and he made like this announcement. didn't even know my name. You know, like, son, what's your name? And I was like, Coach, it's Jervy Alota. It's like,
he called everybody Louis Petrini. If you didn't know your name, Petrini. Like, none of us know who Louis Petrini was.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know your name, that's who you were.
But then I traveled the next game.
Yep.
And then that's what it's all about, and that's what got me my start.
And we started every game with him until I graduated a year before him. But, yeah, he cleaned up a lot of my misses.
So again, like you talk about, you know, people that have shaped your lives and shaped your career. I mean, this guy from the very beginning. I remember when I was just a plebe, and when I got called into that starting role, the way we did in the huddle is the linebackers called the front, and I called the coverage. And when it was my first chance to call the coverage, like, I blanked out. Like, I seen like all these faces in front of me, all these seniors, and I was like, hell, first of all, I don't belong here. Second, what was the coverage again? So I like blanked out. And then these guys looked at me like, hey, it's going to be okay. Breathe. I know this is big time, but you got this. And then after that, I was good.
We spent a lot of time at the bottom of a pile together, like giggling, like, is he crying? I was like, Jervy, is he crying?
Or I would say, Clint, get your hands off his face. Stop grabbing him, Clint. It's over.
They've heard about the most penalized player in Navy football. They've heard that. I guess he can validate that.
Yeah. So that was like my secondary role. Like I was in charge of the secondary, and then I was making sure that this guy stayed on the field and they get booted off for doing something.
Hey, strategic deterrence, man. Classic Navy von Clausewitz.
That's right. You graduated from the academy.
I did.
And you spent your entire career. So how long you been in?
Yeah, so I'm a surface warfare officer. I drive ships, command people. And I've been in 28 years. My initial goal was just to do my 5 and get out. I wanted to coach. I wanted to teach. I wanted to be a positive impact in people's lives. And then when I went to the ship, I realized, man, that's what I'm doing with these sailors. I'm being a positive influence in their lives. I'm coaching them. I'm teaching them. I'm inspiring them. And then it just got bigger and bigger after that, with more responsibility, more people. 28 years later, I'm still doing it.
He's commanded some of our biggest maritime platforms, and he's one of the guys we talk about him a lot. We're really, really proud of him.
Well, thank you for
He's got great hair. You and him both have great hair.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't gray out.
I've got it here. But, you know, Jerry, I think a lot of these moms and dads, when they think about who they're trusting their kids to when they send them into the military, particularly the Navy, I mean, this is the kind of guy you're trusting your young man or woman to, and you should be confident in that, you know, and then organizations like, you know, we the veterans, and once you get out, so the whole continuum of service is represented really at this table.
Yeah.
And when you get in, follow guys like him, be like him.
Yeah.
And his wife, and then when you get out, continue to serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's all about mentorship, right? Like at a very young age, I've had mentors just like Clint who brought me up, and he guided me down the right path. I mean, he was a knucklehead, but he's
well-intentioned knucklehead.
Yeah, a life of faith, and about a service. And he taught me how to stay on the glide slope so that I can continue to contribute to society, and that's what I kind of try to carry forward in my service now. To mentor and uplift people, because I've had people in my life do that for me.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I love the way you just frame the continuum of service, right? Because, it is incredibly important. Obviously, we focus on post-military career. You don't have to wear a uniform to serve. They're creating opportunities for veterans, military family members to lead from the front in their communities, in this country, by engaging, by finding opportunities like serving as a poll worker, or volunteering for your local fire department, whatever it might be.
Or being influencers, to kids,
right?
who have propensity to serve. Right, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, but look, as you see new generation of sailors and others that you're leading, do you see that commitment to service? Kind of, how much work do we have to do to bring everybody on board with the military needs you?
Yeah, I think we've lost it a little bit. The greatest generation's slowly leaving us. So it's up to you guys to kind of bring that messaging out. I think that as we travel the country, as I travel the country, and I see the kids that don't know too much about the Navy, it's like our jobs to let them know that, hey, it's not just warfighting, it's not just being on the ship, right? There's other opportunities, whether you want to go kinetic like this.
The cyber warfare, and all of us know this, and I tell people, like, hey, only 15-20% of the military is kinetic. The 80% is a microcosm of the society it protects. These vocational skills that translate seamlessly into the boardroom once you're off the battlefield, right? Yeah. And then the other thing too, like Jervy's such a great example. The Filipino story of service in the Navy. You know, his family and his role and who he is, and you know that there's.
That's how I got here. My dad immigrated from the Philippines and joined the service, and that's brought him over.
Came from India. We were drafted into the Vietnam War.
There you go.
Spent 24 years on active duty.
Yeah. And your father's. I think those stories are the most American stories we have, right? Because that's really the American proposition. There's no genetics that lead to America. It's this decision and getting back to that and earning your citizenship in a way through military service. That's one of the things I've always been most proud of. And you know, got to go to Jervy's wedding and
he was a hit. Of course, Clint is the hit. He stole the show. Like, it was my wedding, but everyone wanted to dance with this guy.
Well, I can get it on. I mean, I can move.
Big man dance.
But he had to tell me, like, I thought everybody was spitting at me. He's like, I was like, they're like, no, that's hello, all right. But
it's our way of saying hello.
Proud of him, and you know, we look at Guam, we look at the Philippines, we look at these other enlistment opportunities we have, and you know, you won't be better, but you'll be different for the rest of your life if you serve.
100%. Well,
real quick, last shout out. If you're interested in joining the Navy, look us up, Navy.com or hashtag America's Navy. You can find out about all the wonderful and epic opportunities we have in the Navy.
Fantastic. Captain Alota, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank
you. All right, brother. Appreciate you. Love you. Okay.
Love it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.